how are you? I'm Joe Rieger. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to get a little silly, and then I'll try to tie it into a biblical message. Hey, it's my show, I can do what I want, right? We're entirely too serious, and I think sometimes we need to just lighten up, enjoy life, and laugh a little. How do you think I get through day by day, week by week, month by month with cancer? You gotta laugh. And people that know me often remember that I'm totally into trivia questions, Trivial Pursuit, and TV theme songs, commercial jingles, things like that. I mean, my mind is loaded up with useless information that I'll never use except for maybe make people chuckle at a cocktail party or something, or maybe by chance someday I'll get on Jeopardy or a show like that. But I love TV commercials and TV jingles and shows. Did you know, though, that besides the TV theme songs, there's also something, they play music like little sound bites during the course of the program. A friend of mine, Phil, refers to this as middle music. So we all remember I Dream of Jeannie in the theme song for that. Well, you know that one, right? But do you remember the middle music? Remember that? Yeah, and Gilligan's Island, I won't bore you with the theme song, everybody knows that. But they had lots of middle music too. Like, well, you know that one. And how about this one? Dun 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 dun. No, that's I Dream of Jeannie. I messed up. I'm thinking of this one for Gilligan's Island. And Mission Impossible. Here's a classic middle music. Remember that? Well, I got a million of them. You know, 6 years in college, and what do I remember? Commercial jingles like, Dial picks you up and takes you to where it's cool and where it's springtime. Then Dial takes you home again, feeling pure, feeling fine. Aren't you glad you used Dial? Don't you wish everybody did? Well, in answer to that question, yes, I do wish that people would bathe and use deodorant for that matter, but I'm not limiting you to Dial. We've got Ivory soap, we've got Irish Spring and Zest and Coast, so knock yourself out and please bathe by all means. All right, one more, and I'm going to use this commercial jingle to tie into my biblical message. Way back when, this is, I think, an Exxon commercial, or they may not even been called Exxon, they might have been Esso back then, but remember this? A funny thing can happen to your car before you've even driven very far. It's a funny little put down, boom, boom, when you put your foot down, boom, boom, and that's what hesitation's all about. Does anyone remember that? Am I the only one? Hesitation. That's our topic for today. And I'm not talking about look before you leap. That's just pure caution. Right? And we all need to be cautious and everything like that. But what I'm talking about is analysis paralysis, being frozen in indecision. That's not a good thing. Now, I'm a cautious person. I love to research things before I act. I talk to people, and most importantly, I pray to God. That's clutch. You got to pray to God before you make decisions. But the thing is, we can't get all mixed up and just freeze, where we can't do what God wants us to do or act. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than a person who can't make a decision, right? Think about it. Imagine a football game. Now, you've got the defense. They hold the opposing team, and they turn the ball over to their own offense. Now, they're waiting for the offense to come in, but Peyton Manning refuses to step on the field. Yeah, he's not sure if it's his time to be quarterback or not. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But just think how God thinks. Imagine, God is like always giving us clues and signs that it's time to act, it's time to do, yet we sit on the sidelines, and that's not cool. Well, I want you to know that God's timing is perfect. Yeah, it is. And sometimes we're not in sync with God's timing. We're always in a rush. You know, we're in a society where we always need to be doing something. We're running here and there, a million miles an hour, busy, 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 right? And, you know, we're so impatient microwave popcorn isn't fast enough for us. And we're always in the middle of doing stuff. The problem is when we're so busy, we can't hear from God. He may be telling us to stop. He may be telling us to wait. He may be telling us to go. I don't know. Whatever it is, if we're so busy doing stuff without consulting God, without being still before Him, we're going to miss the signal. And we can't do that because God has things for us to do. We can't stay on the sideline. And I have to tell you, when I was in full-time business, man, I was a marketing manager, and I wanted to get out of there. I felt the calling to go into full-time ministry. The corporate world just did not satisfy me anymore. And I waited for the green light from God. I waited and waited and prayed and prayed. It was agonizing. I waited for almost 5 years, but nothing. It wasn't time. God was still doing work in me, and He was doing work through me where I was. I had ministry on the job to do or finish. So He wasn't about to commission me to full-time ministry until the timing was right, and I did all the things I was supposed to do. And then God gave me the green light. It was when I read Rick Warren's book, The Purpose-Driven Life, page 239 to be exact. This is where God called me into full-time ministry. And typically with God, He also gave me several follow-up signs, and I knew that it was time for full-time ministry. No more waiting. Yet despite all these signs from God that it was time to move forward, that it was time to go into full-time ministry, I hesitated big time. And all these doubts started coming into my mind, like what if this isn't God's will? And what if you go into this thing and it's not the right thing, and your family goes hungry, you lose your house, and it's not fair, you're being selfish. These are the lies the enemy was putting in my head, that I'm living some midlife crisis and being selfish and not considering what's best for my family. And on with the lies. And I was hesitating, I was hamstrung. And I wasn't moving forward like God wanted me to do. This was back in November 2003. And basically the enemy was telling me that, you know what, you belong in the corporate world. That's where your place is. Stay in the safety of your comfort zone there. And don't be putting your family into harm's way like this. God can't be trusted, basically. That's what he was saying. And I remember, that was about November 2003. Well, I hemmed and hawed for a while, okay? And on January 24th, I just went to the Lord in prayer and I said, Lord, I need one more sign. Give me one more sign. Just call me Gideon Rieger, okay? That's what I needed. And I was praying and praying, all these wimpy prayers. What should I do? And that's when God spoke to me through our devotional, Our Daily Bread. He often speaks to me that. But it was a passage, the reading for that day was from Exodus 14. And check it out. Right when I'm saying, what do I do? What do I do? And the Lord said to Moses, why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to go forward. To go forward. Now, if you remember Exodus 14, this is a period where the Israelites were freed from bondage by Pharaoh. God delivered them out of the hands of Pharaoh. Pharaoh now changed his mind and he was pursuing them with his army. So the Israelites were trapped between the oncoming Egyptian army and the Red Sea. And then they started to whine big time. Oh, Moses, weren't there enough graves in Egypt that you had to bring us out here to die in the desert? And, we were perfectly happy serving the Egyptians, but you brought us out here to die in the wilderness, and on and on and on. And God had enough of it. He said, enough of your whining, enough of your belly aching, enough of your prayers. Now is the time to go forward. So Moses took the rod and he parted the Red Sea in the power of God, and the Israelites passed safely across the Red Sea, and the Egyptians followed them and they were drowned. God came through big time, and he was telling me in the same passage, stop crying out to me, stop hemming and hawing, stop hesitating, and go forward. I'm with you in this. And the Daily Bread was saying, there is a time for prayer and a time to act. If God has already told you what to do, the devotion said, you don't need to ask him again. So this was January 24th, and I went to Karen and I told her about what happened, and we talked about it, and she was in agreement with me. And then I went to work that very day, and gave my 2 weeks notice, and I was on my way to full-time ministry. Well, what's God telling you right now? Is he telling you to wait? Is he telling you to go? Remember, when God says to go, the enemy will say to stop. And when God says to stop and wait, the enemy will tell you to go. you got to be listening to God. And there is a time for prayer and a time for action. Don't hesitate. Go forward. Well, now I'm going to leave you with a little bit of my own theme music, okay? Remember, stay close to God. Listen to what he has to tell you. And if he tells you to go forward, then go for it. All right. God bless you. Take care.